Hi, I'm Mark Richmond from Chef Knives to Go. Today I'm going to do a demonstration on how to fix some chips in a knife edge that I have. This is a Tojiro that I was working on the other day. We did a video on Barkeeper's Friend with this knife. And this knife, if you can tell, if you look at the edge, there's a few little microchips on it. One here, here, and here. And what I want to talk to you today about is how to fix those chips properly without messing up the knife. There's a right way and a wrong way to fix chips. I'm going to assume that you know how to sharpen. If not, you can just, I'll try to explain things as I go along. But what I typically like to do with chip repair, if they're small like this, what you want to do is you basically want to ignore the chips and act like you're not taking the chips out. Just grind the edge all the way along the edge, just like you would when you sharpen the knife. You can use a little bit more steep of an angle just to make sure you're grinding away the actual edge. And then you can lower it later and thin it back out. But I usually just act like I'm sharpening the knife and that I pay no attention to the chips. Otherwise, you'll take the knife and I've seen guys do this. They try to grind out the chip right in the area where it occurs, and you get this warped kind of profile on the edge, and it doesn't cut as well. You'll have holes basically dug out where you ground too much. So that's the main lesson here. I'm going to use a few stones that I haven't used on video before. These are the Naniwa Super Stones, and for chip removal you want to remove a lot of metal fast, so you want to have a low grit stone to do most of the work. And here I have a 400 grit stone. This particular stone has a base attached to it. It's the thinner version that we sell, and it's less money than the thicker version of the 1K stone, which I'll use second. If I have time, I'll probably just do a few strops on the 5K stone too. The Naniwa stones are real affordable, easy to use. I recommend them for people that are sharpening at home and just learning, because they're easy to use. And let's see if I can get this off here. There we go. So, let's stick this on my little sink bridge. You probably don't need to hold this in place because the holder will do the job. These are Splash and Go stones, and so basically might absorb a little water. If it dries out, just put some more on there. Normally I would lap this stone a little bit just to take the edges off and to make sure there's no gunk on the top. Binder tends to float to the surface of the stones on a lot of these, and you have to kind of sharpen your way through it or lap the stone. And lapping is just a process where you take a diamond plate or sandpaper and you flatten it out and grind away the top of the stone to keep it nice and flat. So as you can see, I'm kind of just sharpening the knife, going along the whole blade. This takes a little bit of work, so don't get frustrated. Another thing, when I'm using my knives at home, and if I put a little chip in a knife, I often will not only ignore it when I sharpen, I'll ignore it when I'm using it. I won't basically use the knife until it's dull and then sharpen it normally. And if I don't take out the whole chip from the first time, I don't really care. After 2 or 3 sessions, I'll slowly grind it away, and you kind of save your edge that way. You're not grinding extra material just to get rid of the chip, and you can use the rest of the knife edge to cut with. Okay. I frequently get this question from guys. A lot of people don't feel comfortable switching hands. I'm not ambidextrous, but it feels more comfortable for me to go back and forth like this. But of course you could run it like this. You just need to be able to keep the angle of the edge, which is this angle right here, consistent when you go back and forth. And whichever way feels more comfortable to you, go ahead and do it. Alright, so I've almost completely taken out those little chips. I'm going to just, for time's sake, I'm going to just switch over to the 1K stone here. The Nanawa 1K, I actually like the Nanawa Super Stones the higher you go in the grit. The 5K is a really nice stone. It polishes exceptionally well, and the 10K, all the higher ones are really good polishing stones. They last a lot longer, as most high grit stones do, and they're a little soft, so you got to be, as you move up to the 5K and the 10K, you have to use light pressure. And as a matter of fact, when I'm sharpening with these, I usually only go backwards using edge trailing strokes. This would be an edge forward stroke. This is an edge trailing stroke. And so on higher grit stones, I will use this kind of motion. It's a much more gentle way to sharpen. You don't remove very much material at all. But it's excellent for evening out the edge after you've ground away on it with a rougher stone before. And you also, on softer stones, you don't run into the problem of wobbling a little and digging into the stone, which basically curls up the edge and ruins your job. So, as you can see, this black stuff is actual metal that's coming off, and you can see it's cutting through the metal pretty quickly still, even though this is a 1K stone. Now normally for a home use knife, like I said, I would probably just do this routine, not even take out the chips entirely. Get it sharp, and then use the knife till it's dull, and then repeat this process a couple times, and voila, the chips would magically disappear as I work. And that's probably what I'm going to end up doing here, because on my first stone here, the 400, I didn't go long enough to take them all out, but took some of the metal off. So anyways, that's the general idea of fixing a chip. I'm going to stop it here because we'll probably run out of time, but I think you get the idea. I'm Mark Richmond. Stay sharp.